Good day, everyone. My name is Sesona Sihle, and my surname is Vuba. I am from the Xhosa tribe. The name means the most beautiful. I am a personal assistant to Tina Liu and also an administrative officer. And I also help her with HR duties, meaning fixing files, and also admin, procurement, having to see everything in the offices in. Because I was awarded a scholarship in China by the Chinese government and also the Higher Department of Training in South Africa. So normally what they do is every time there are new graduates from China, they try to gather us all and give us a platform to go to job fairs. And I was very fortunate that CBMI Construction at the time was able to grant me the opportunity to work as an administrative officer in 2019. There's quite a variety, a lot of things. Having to go to job creations, I think there's plenty. Many of our youth in South Africa are jobless. As we all know that there's a high unemployment rate in South Africa. So having China coming, or let me be specific, CBMI SA or CBMI Construction, many thousands of the youth are now enrolled in a job which they can say, I'm able to come and feed my family. To speak for myself personally, as I have mentioned, I think in question 1, I didn't mention that I did enroll in an online course from the University of Cape Town, and the course name is HRM, Human Resource and Management. So I think from where I stand, and having to be at CBMI SA for about 4 years now, it gave me a broader view of how one has to manage the company, how one has to understand the employees, and how one has to be there for the employees. As I have worked alongside Tina Liu, she gave me an insight of how to manage files and the employees. And as for other employees, given the respective field that they are in, CBMI SA does give courses to them that will enlighten their ideas and enlighten their skills. To be precise on South Africa alone, in 2021, I believe that the Chinese embassy in South Africa stated that the total investment in South Africa alone surpassed 25 billion USD, which is dollars. So you can imagine over the whole of Africa, it's trillions of rands, let alone dollars. So I think in Africa, as you all know, many of the countries are still developing. So structure, technology, job creation, increased economic activities, it's boosting and blooming now. So those are the things that are impacted positively. But as for South Africa, we all know that we have developed, still developing, and places that are still underdeveloped. So it's so beautiful that China can come and help us in this regard, and we're also able to learn a lot. I have not quite participated because I do believe many participants are from site, meaning that wherever there is a project, they do participate. For instance, the PPC project that collaborated with CBMI SA, they did have a social responsibility where one has to give back. So this means that CBMI SA had to give back, whether it would be education, whether it would be food, whether it would be social welfare. So I myself have not been there physically, but I know that the company has participated in many. I think so, because when one has to come in a Chinese enterprise, they know you have to move, you have to be very fast, you have to think very fast. So I do believe that one learns a lot, because I do believe at one point in South Africa, there tends to be a very slow movement. But when you've been exposed and you've been to China, like I have, I studied in China for 2 years, you get to feel that you have to make things move, you have to be very fast. So it's such a privilege for me to be working in a Chinese enterprise. And for those, my colleagues, I do believe that for them as well, it's such a privilege. I would say go ahead. They should work in a Chinese founded enterprise, because now you're able to learn how to make the simple things in life, how to survive, meaning having to make your own bread, having to manufacture your own products. They will teach you, because you know China is very hands-on. They work with their hands. Whether it would be a billionaire knows how to make the bread. So I would advise them to go ahead and do it, and not to only rely in the grants in South Africa. I do think China and South Africa collaborate and trade. It's one of the biggest trading countries, both of them, in the world. So I do believe that South Africa lacks. I am saying this in the most positive way, but some South Africans do rely on grants, the government grant. But when you mix with China, that's when my previous question answer came from. Now you're able to learn how to do things by yourself, how to be an entrepreneur by yourself. Because let's face it, South Africa does have a high unemployment rate, and we do need people who are there to be entrepreneurs. So China is the best partner for South Africans to be learning from. I will start with South Africa. I went to China to learn a master in international trade. So hence I said that South Africa and China are one of the largest companies that do trade. So for me personally, I do believe that job creation is one of the things that South Africa and China, that they would work well together in creating jobs and having to trade as partners together. I also do believe in infrastructure development. For us, we have a lot to learn from China when it comes to infrastructure, and China is the best place to be with learning in this regards. And also, when it comes to China having to be in South Africa, it actually generates a tax revenue, which means that by an employee getting its salary, it actually contributes to the South African government. So with China having to be here and occupying as many places as can be in Africa as a whole, I think for our growth, it's beautiful.